Hello everyone and welcome to today's Daily Splat. Today is our 17th video in our 20 video preview of the English Premier League season. Only 4 more teams to go, which means 4, maybe 3 nights sleep till it starts. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway, today we're previewing the season for Tottenham Hotspur. So, last season Tottenham had one of their more interesting seasons. They'd qualified for the Champions League the season before last, and so they had the European campaign, which was interesting. They got out of the group. They actually finished top of their group ahead of the defending champions Inter Milan and made it to the quarter-finals, where they were knocked out by a superb Real Madrid. In the league, they failed to make it back to the top 4 again. Manchester City pushing them out, and they have to make do with Europa League football this year, but the objective is to try and get back. The only problem for Tottenham is that they've more linked with players moving away, namely Mr. Luka Modric. Now, I personally am a big fan of Luka Modric, and for a couple of seasons I've went on FIFA, I've signed him for United, and I would actually really like to see him as a Manchester United player type thing. The fact is he is their most important player, but it looks as though he could be on his way to Chelsea possibly. Now, it's a bit 50-50 at the moment. I actually think there's a good chance he'll stay, and if he does, that is a massive boost for Tottenham, because I think if he leaves, then their chances of qualifying for the top 4 take a severe blow. As it is, if the squad stays as it is, and they keep Modric and Van der Vaart and Bale and all of those players play together again, I still don't think they're going to have quite enough to finish in the top 4. In fact, I've got them coming as finishing 6th, but the reason for that isn't because I don't think their midfield's good enough, because quite frankly it's brilliant. Not only is there Modric, there's Van der Vaart, who if he can be slightly less injured this season, would be brilliant. He was brilliant in the games he played last season. Gareth Bale is fantastic. Lennon is a great winger. They've also got Sandro, who I thought really came along and could develop even more this season. Huddlestone and Palacios are both quite capable. You look at the defence, they've let Jonathan Woodgate go, but quite frankly he's not really been there the last few seasons. And they've got good defenders. Ledley King, when he's fit, is straight in. He's a first choice. Dawson has been very good. Asu Akoto was less unreliable this last season. He's certainly improved. They've also got Basong and Gallas who can come in and do a job. They've got good players there. And in nets they've signed Brad Friedel, who I think will be challenging with Aurelio Gomez for that number 1 spot. And Friedel's a very, very good safe pair of hands compared to Gomez, who occasionally is a bit mad. Although equally occasionally he has absolute blinders. No, all those areas of the pitch I've just mentioned, Tottenham are very strong in. It's their forwards that aren't so strong. Their choice of strikers at the moment are Jermaine Defoe, Peter Crouch, Roman Pavlyuchenko and Robbie Keane. Now, Robbie Keane they've been loaning out recently to West Ham and teams like that, and quite frankly I don't think he's good enough for Spurs if they're pushing for the top 4. Pavlyuchenko, Crouch and Defoe are all capable strikers, but I think they all let Tottenham down last season. Pavlyuchenko was probably the best of the bunch, but he was the best of a not very good bunch. And quite frankly, he would need to have an extra 5 goals to his game to be what Tottenham need. Tottenham need a really good striker. They need that Ruud van Nistelrooy, Thierry Henry figure. If they had somebody come in and be the mercurial goal-scoring talent combined with the rest of their team, they would make the top 4. Trying to think of a target perhaps they could bring in. Well, yeah, the first one that comes to mind is Neymar, even though he's very much untested in a sense. No, I'm thinking more a player like a Sergio Aguero, who City have signed, or somebody like a Carlos Tevez, or just that sort of powerful striker that's capable of getting you 20 goals. Dimitar Berbatov, perhaps. But with the strikers they've got at the moment, Jermaine Defoe was very badly out of form last season, and he can't afford to have another season like that, or he will be out of there. Peter Crouch too was capable and did a job in certain games, but he hasn't been massively scoring in recent seasons, and he gets important goals. I certainly think there's a place for him in the Tottenham squad, but I don't think he's their answer. They need to sign someone to play with Pavlyuchenko. I think he is their best option up front at the moment. But trying to think of realistic options, it's a bit difficult because nobody has any idea of how much money they actually have. Of course, if they sold Luka Modric for anywhere near the £50 million that they would want for his services going elsewhere, then they would be able to afford a good striker. The fact is that really the striker that is actually ideal for them is Darren Bent, and it's he was already there and it didn't work out, and now he's gone off to Sunderland and he was good there, and now he's at Aston Villa and he was great there. He's doing good stuff there as well. So that's the big thing with the Spurs. They need that forward that's gonna get the goals basically. If they got that, they could finish in the top four. I don't think they will. However, with Harry Redknapp at the helm, I still think that they're a club that are going in the right direction. I certainly don't think that they'll finish lower than 6th. I honestly can't see anyone taking a Europa League spot off them. And the fact is, this team could surprise. If Defoe gets back to his brilliant goal scoring ways and gets 20 goals this season, and Crouch and Pavlyuchenko both get at least 10, then I could see Spurs challenging for the top 4. The key thing for them is how they play in the games against their rivals for those top 4 spots. They need to be getting points from games against Manchester United, Manchester City, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool. Ideally, they need to be winning all those home games. Now, I know that is a very hard task to ask. You could even say it's virtually impossible. Because one of them's going to get points off you somehow. That being the case, they need to be able to put in good performances away as well. They need to go to Old Trafford, or they need to go to Stamford Bridge and get the points. Not just draws but wins as well. That is where it's going to be key for them. And then maybe beating Wolves for once. That sort of thing might help as well. Okay, but that is all for today on Tottenham Hotspurs. Only 3 more of these videos to go, and the first of those 3, or video number 18, tomorrow, will see us taking a look at West Bromwich Albion, and I'm sure that'll be very, very interesting. Okay, that is all for today. Join me again tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.